Studio Limited Editions. Studio Limited Editions was a brand name or artist label that was attached to a range of various media products that were sold through UK and overseas high street retail stores from 2005 to 2008. These stores were establishments such as art galleries such as Castle Galleries, print retailers such as Athena, garden centers such as Dobbies, and gift shops such as Menkind. The brand was also available through major mail-order companies such as the Park Group, Express Gifts, and the Ideal World TV shopping channel. The label ceased to be in 2008 when its parent company folded due to issues associated with the credit crunch. It may appear under new ownership at some point in the future. Publications. Iconic Media Publishing produced artworks under the Studio Limited Editions label in 20-inch x 16, 16-inch x 12-inch, 12-inch x 12-inch, and a fur-sized mounted formats, and included iconic music. The limited editions were either signed by the photographer, autographed by the featured topic, or were authenticated by company signatures. Photographers. Many of the limited edition photographic artworks published were signed by the photographer. The photographers, amongst many others, included Philip Townsend, the photographer of the Rolling Stones' first published photos, and the Beatles' private meeting with the Maharishi, his own website being www.philiptownsend.com. He died in 2016. Adrian Buddha, staff photographer with the NME and Melody Maker. The British weekly music papers, his website being www.urbanimage.com. David Plastic, a freelance contributor to both Cream and Billboard American music magazines, his website being www.8isrockphotos.com. Alan Perry, a freelance contributor to the British Kerrang! Heavy rock publication, his website being www.concertphotos.com. These photographers' photographs covered many of the leading musicians from the 1960s throughout to the 1980s. The topics that were featured under the Studio Limited Editions signed photographer range featured, amongst many others, bands such as AC/DC, the Beatles, Blondie, David Bowie, The Clash, Bob Dylan, Guns N' Roses and 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 Roses, Kiss, Led Zeppelin, Bob Marley and the Wailers, the Ramones, the Rolling Stones, the Sex Pistols, Stevie Ray Vaughan, the Stranglers, Bruce Springsteen, Otwo, who each of these editions was a 12x 10-inch photograph mounted within a 20x 16-inch mount. Individual mounts were then signed by the photographers, and they were numbered accordingly. The parent company folded prior to these editions selling out, and therefore early signed editions have become very sought after, with some selling at auction for a few £100s on eBay in 2009. The label also published a range of autographed photographic artworks. These were again photographs size 12x 10 inches mounted within a 20x 16-inch mount. These autograph editions featured some of Britain's most notorious gangsters, and these included Freddie Foreman, who was known as a leading underworld figure during the 1960s and is now an author. The film The Long Good Friday's main character is reputedly based on him. Roy Shaw is known for being one of the 1970s leading unlicensed boxing figures, as well as a time-serving criminal. He died in 2012. D12. Joey Pyle was known for being one of the UK leading crime figures during the 1960s and 1970s, and for his book, Notorious and DVD crime doesn't pay, but the hours are good. He died in 2007. Howard Marks, known for his views on the drugs trade, being one of the world's biggest drugs barons during the 1970s, and for his DVD Mr. Nice, his books Mr. Nice, Howard Marks' Book of Dope Stories, and Senor Nice, Straight Life from Wales to South America, and for his media appearances. He died in 2016. Eric Mason, known for being a member of the infamous Craze firm and for being the last person in Britain to be birched. He also wrote a book called The Brutal Truth. He died in 2012. D12. Dave Courtney, known for being a gangster in his previous life but now an advocate of straight living and a successful author, with his books Stop the Ride, I Want to Get Off, The Ride, Raving Lunacy, and The Ride's Back On. He is an actor in a number of movies such as Triads, Yardies, Onion Barges, Six Bend Trap, Clubbing to Death, and Killer Bitch. He is also a television and media personality. Only 50 of each of these autographed limited editions featuring these underworld figures were released out of a planned 500 strictly limited edition run. Subsequently, these signed editions have become quite sought after. Artists. They also published a number of artists who produced a pencil drawing range under the title The Rock Archive Collection. This collection featured 12 of the world's most well-known musicians who were known for their guitar work and songwriting skills. The musicians featured in this 12-piece collection were Keith Richards, Jimi Hendrix, George Harrison, John Lennon, Ronnie Wood, David Gilmour, Neil Young, Jimmy Page, Pete Townshend, Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton, and a 12th print which was never released. These artists included Diana Monroe, Kate Brown, George Adams, Daniel Shepard. The pencil drawing collections also featured sports figures, popular music figures, and historic figures. References equals